changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration to make you simply happy. It's Tip Tuesday, and today I want to talk about another story from our new book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Inspiration for Teachers. Not just because it's a book for teachers and a great gift at this time of year, but also because I found so many life lessons in the book, ones that transcend the classroom. So Amelia Pinson is a teacher, but first she tells us about her own days as a student in middle school, which she hated, like many of us. Middle school was the worst, right? What an awkward time. We're all going through puberty. We're filled with self-doubt. We're changing best friends, and we're starting to like boys or girls. It's a mess filled with adolescent agony. And Amelia, who goes by the nickname Mia, was like many middle school students trying to get through each day, hoping to stay invisible, and yet somehow wondering why no one was noticing her. The one class in which Mia felt fairly safe was concert band. She sat in a long row of flute players, and she didn't make waves. She just played her flute. But then one day, Mia's cloak of invisibility was pierced. The band director was not happy with the band. They weren't in tune. He went down the row of flute players, one by one, challenging them to play the right note. Mia was horrified. This was exactly the kind of attention she didn't want. When her turn came, she stood up and played the note, then waited to be reprimanded like everyone else had been. But the band teacher looked at her and smiled. "Band," he stated, "this is what I have been waiting for." That was a perfect note, with perfect vibrato and perfect pitch. That one note has earned you an A this year. Keep it up. Well, that one positive comment changed everything for Mia. She finally started to blossom. So now here comes the second part of her story. After Mia's story became a finalist to go into our teacher's book, she sent us this note. "I wrote the story as a response to a challenge from my students. They stated that if they had to submit painfully honest journal entries to me, I should have to submit my writing too. I wrote 4 stories to show them it could be done, and that week I sent the stories off one by one, never daring to hope one might actually make it this far in the selection process." She went on to say that she wasn't telling her students she was a finalist for the Chicken Soup for the Soul book. She didn't want to disappoint them if the story didn't end up making it all the way into the book. Then, after learning that her story did make it in, she wrote another email to us. "After I received your email, I actually forgot to eat my lunch. When my 5th period students came into my room, they asked why my food was still sitting on my desk. Because these are the students who challenged me to write, I told them our story had made it in. I was not prepared for their response. My most cynical class, full of brilliant but streetwise students, suddenly broke into loud cheers and applause. In fact, they were so happy it took me a bit to settle them down. As excited as I am, I think this might mean as much to them as it does to me." And we checked with Mia again more recently, and she said her students have decided that when they finish their end-of-year standardized testing, they're going to have a book signing, complete with coffee and scones like a real bookstore or coffee house. That night, she will finally read them her story. So the lesson I took from that is that inspiration and encouragement can come from anywhere. I love the fact that Mia only wrote her stories when her students made her. And after all, they were right. If they had to write deeply personal stories for her, why shouldn't she write deeply personal stories also? I'm Amy Newmark. Thanks for listening to the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast today. That story was from our new book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Inspiration for Teachers, which is in stores now and makes the perfect gift for new teachers, seasoned teachers, or retired teachers, all of whom enjoy stories about how teachers really do make a difference. Come back tomorrow for Wow Wednesday. It's time for some pet stories again. And these are different. You'll love these stories about cats adopting their own pets and the humans who had to contend with squirrels and opossums as new family members.